my little sheep. Welcome to the channel The Adventures of Little Shepherd Bento. Today we'll learn the story of a very special king from the Bible, Solomon. He was the son of David and was known for something that greatly pleased God, his wisdom. Even though he was young, he had a great mission to rule the people of Israel. One night the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream and asked him a surprising question. Ask whatever you wish, and I will give it to you. Solomon could have asked for riches, victories, or power, but he chose to ask for something different, which showed the humility of his heart. He asked for wisdom to judge justly and guide the people with kindness. This request pleased God, who not only gave him wisdom, but also riches and honor such as no other king had ever received.
Solomon prayed with sincere love. He asked for wisdom from the Lord. He did not want greatness nor seek gold, but justice to govern. God was pleased with his prayer, and he gave him a wise heart. He also gave him riches and glory, for Solomon honored God. With true faith, the king received the most precious gift ever given, wisdom always shining so that the entire people can guide.
One day, two women came to King Solomon with a very difficult question. They both lived in the same house and had children, but one of the babies had died. So the two began to argue, each claiming that the living baby was hers. There were no witnesses to confirm who was telling the truth. The case seemed impossible to solve, but Solomon, filled with the wisdom God gave him, found a way to reveal the real mother. He ordered a sword and said, "Cut the baby in two and give half to each woman." At that moment, the real mother begged for the child to be given to the other woman, just so she wouldn't see him die. So Solomon discovered who the real mother was and returned the baby to her.
Two women went to the king to judge a small baby they both wanted to raise. Solomon thought wisely and brought justice that day. Bring the sword, divide that, half for each. Won't be a decision. The real mother cried without ceasing. Hand over the baby, just don't let them kill you. The king understood who had love, and he handed the child over to his mother with fervor. The whole nation could then perceive that wisdom comes from God to live.
The fame of Solomon's wisdom spread throughout the lands. People from different nations traveled from far and wide just to hear his words and learn from his advice. He wrote many proverbs and songs, speaking about life, nature, and God. But one of Solomon's greatest works was the construction of the temple in Jerusalem. It was a grand place, built to worship the Lord, with precious details of gold and carved wood. There, the people gathered to pray and offer sacrifices. This temple became a symbol of God's presence in the midst of Israel. Solomon prayed that the Lord would hear the prayers of all who entered it, and God responded that he would be attentive to every sincere request.
From distant lands they came to listen, the wisdom that knew how to teach. Proverbs and songs he wrote, the words of life that came from God. He built the temple, a place of prayer, with gold and beauty in every construction. The assembled people could worship, and the presence of God came to dwell. With true faith the king pleaded, and heard his voice. Whoever went to the temple to pray, the blessing of heaven will reach. From distant lands they came to listen, the wisdom that knew how to teach. Proverbs and songs he wrote, the words of life that came from God. Whoever went to the temple to pray, the blessing of heaven will reach.
Among the many visitors who came to meet Solomon was the Queen of Sheba. She heard of his wisdom and traveled with a large retinue, bringing gifts, perfumes, and riches for the king of Israel. When he arrived, he asked difficult questions to test the truth of Solomon's reputation, but he answered them all clearly and demonstrated the greatness of what God had given him. The queen was impressed by his wisdom, his riches, and the organization of his kingdom. Amazed, she declared that all she had heard was little compared to what she had seen with her own eyes, and she recognized that God had chosen Solomon to reign in righteousness and bring blessings to his people.
From distant lands the queen arrived, with many gifts he delivered to the king. I wanted to prove if it was really real. Solomon's fame is unparalleled. He put difficult questions to declare, but he wisely knew how to explain. The queen was filled with admiration, seeing the greatness in your nation. Blessed is the God who chose you to reign with justice among his people. Thus he proclaimed with all praise, honoring the Lord with fear and love.
Solomon had a reign of great peace and prosperity, but as the years passed, his heart began to turn away from God. He allowed himself to be influenced by other people and ended up following customs that displeased the Lord. Despite having received so much wisdom, Solomon showed that even the wisest can err when they do not remain steadfast in obedience to God. His poor choices brought sorrow and divided the people of Israel. This part of the story reminds us that it's not enough to start well. We must remain faithful to the end. True wisdom lies not only in knowledge, but in living according to the Lord's will.
Even the wisest can be mistaken if you stray from God's path. Solomon felt he let himself be carried away, and sadness came to the people. With so much riches, glory, and power, one day he forgot to obey. Wisdom has lost its value when he stopped following the Lord. The lesson of life is never to forget that true faith makes us win. Standing firm, and God is the best place, for only he can keep us.
Even with his mistakes, Solomon's story remains one of the most remarkable in the Bible. He teaches us that true treasure lies not in riches or power, but in seeking wisdom that comes from God. Solomon wrote many proverbs that still remind us today to live with justice, love, and fear of the Lord. His words show that obedience to God is the path to a blessed and peaceful life. Children, just as Solomon asked for wisdom, we can ask God for guidance in everything we do. He listens to us with love and gives us the understanding to always choose what is right.
Solomon shows us the Lord's lesson, that true wealth is living in love. More than treasures or endless glory, wisdom is the best for me. Proverbs written to teach us that the fear of God is the best place. Whoever trusts in Him will not be lost, always find the strength to obey. Children, let us remember with our hearts, seek the Lord in every prayer. Wisdom comes shining from heaven, and life with God will bless us. To teach us that the fear of God is the best place. Whoever trusts in Him will not be lost, always find the strength to obey. Children, let us remember with our hearts, seek the Lord in every prayer. Wisdom comes shining from heaven, and life with God will bless us.
And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the Little Shepherd Bento channel. Click the bell so you don't miss any adventures, and share it with your friends. Here, every week there's a new Bible story filled with music and joy.